Imagine having a change at a company that changed the price between 1/5 and 1/4 increase in one day. And it's not a penny stock. Yeah. So anyway, long and short of it is, I should tell you guys I'm leaving the company I'm with as warehouse manager, as warehouse supervisor. In effect, I'm bloody warehouse manager half the time anyway. This company and its policies do not make any sense. There's very little teamwork, while there's a lot of people who always manage to come up with the excuse of, well, that's all I'm required to do. Now, there's no team in, well, that's all I'm required to do, and they just do the minimum of what they've done. At some point, I get the sense that they've been pulled up on how much work they do, and then they've set guidelines, but those guidelines have been set so bloody low. And, the manager above me is a salaried man, and I think it's a low six-figure salary. It would be bloody close to six figures at least. And for whatever reason, salary generally means you unlock the place. In the morning, you're the first to arrive and the last to leave. But somehow this guy keeps talking about his quote-unquote minimum hours. It feels like he's doing 25 hours a week. He's probably doing 30. But see, the warehouse is open for 50 hours. So, my pay comes through and it's, 48 hours. It's 55 hours a week, and this guy's doing 25 to 30 with a salary as the last one in and the first one out almost. And, maybe a day or two a week, he's the first one in, but it's just incredible, really. It's just ridiculous. Here I am on Uber driver rates, essentially running the joint most afternoons, if not some complete days. And Friday, well, it was one of the worst days we had in a month, and boss decided to work from home. Didn't tell me, told the truck driver, didn't tell me. It turned into absolute bloody chaos. And I really didn't have lunch that day. Well, he decided that, 2:30 was all his minimum hours required, so he just was not available, more or less, or not doing any work from 2:30 on. Come Monday, in the afternoon, essentially the only quasi-management left was me and some angry, curly-haired 22-year-old girl. That was it. We were the only management so-called left in the place on Monday afternoon, because once again, my boss decided to bowl out, and the state manager was actually thousands of miles away at headquarters. I'm getting sick to death of working under someone who's doing 25 to 30 hours a week on a salary, to not be there, to sometimes take 45 minutes to call back, and I'm doing 48 to 55 hours every damn week. It's just crap. When you start looking at the policies and the processes of this company and the things that people do that quote unquote I'm only required to do, they are some of the most ridiculous I've come across. They don't make sense. In fact, a lot of them make it not only worse for the customer, but also worse for the employee for no actual real gain. And it just doesn't make any sense. I run some of this stuff past my sister. And some of the shenanigans that go on, some of the policies they got in place. I tell my sister, who is an executive assistant, essentially running her husband's company that they have sold while the new owner stays overseas cutting deals or doing whatever he's doing. And my sister, because of the amount of processes and procedures and step 1, step 2 type guides that they put in place, She only has to tie up problems 25 hours a week while working from home to run an engineering consulting business of 5 people. Yeah. The policies and processes of the place I'm working at are just the most convoluted, and half the time there is no process or policy, and if it is, it just makes it hard for everybody, customers included, and it's just stupid. And I've had enough with the stress. I've had enough with more or less every hour of the day. You know, there's a few hours of the day, if you're lucky, 1 or 2 out of a 10-hour day where you're actually not in like panic mode, and it's just crap. Some days will be good, and the very next day will be outright chaos, and there's no sort of equal spreading of the workload over the week or let alone the month. It's just slow day one day, absolutely berserk next. But it seems as though because of the change in season usually changes the amount of customers you have and all of that, this is known to speed up during this time of year. Yeah, it's some Saturdays there I've been working and I realise I've actually got burnout, and you have trouble bloody for the last hour or two while you're there on a Saturday just trying to get your shit together, because you're actually starting to suffer burnout from having 50 hours a week going flat out on more or less panic mode. And it's just, I'm not doing this shit at the same rate that they pay an Uber driver. The advertised rate that they have Uber drivers on is the same rate I'm on. And I'm not doing this. I'm not dealing with, truck drivers, customers, forklift drivers, training new people, occasionally the maintenance guy coming in with parts he's got to send out. All this while certain people in other departments and other areas slack off or leave everything to the last minute, or just don't tell me at all until a customer comes and says, I've ordered this, where is it now? And I could have been told about this an hour and a half in advance, and I haven't been, because somebody doesn't want to get off their damn seat and come and tell me, oh, I emailed it to you, it was all I was required to do. Well, that's great, because I'm about 130 emails behind at this point. Never mind the fact that my computer keeps having keys jamming, and half the time I can't even get my password in without a whole string of bloody ones or something stuffing my password up. It's beyond the joke, a lot of the stuff that happens. I'll talk about it more in detail at a later point, but you can't make this shit up. The stuff they have money for and what they do, and the things I've, needed to do that they can't find literally 1 hour's pay for. Like meeting OH&S standards. It's just bullshit, and we're at the end of the line. So anyway, I'll probably have the end of the year off. I've got a couple more weeks to go with all this sort of crapola, and then I'll be having a bit more time here. I'll probably give you a good presentation on off-grid and planning to go off-grid and a few other things like that. I've got some house renovations that I'm thinking of that have sort of been on the cards for a while that I've probably got to get on and do. And